Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Tori Lynn. Let's blossom today. Today's video is inspired by the kind of trend going around of the Chrystal or rhinestone eye look. I picked up some rhinestones from a local craft store. Well, not local, it was like Joann's, I think, or Michael's, I don't remember. Got some rhinestones at one of my craft stores here in town, and I just did this kind of fun look. It turned out to be a little kind of, I feel, kind of spaceshipy or outer spacey vibe. Also could be a fun Coachella look, but I just wanted to do something fun with the rhinestones, and this is the look I came up with. If you guys want to see what I did and how I got here, just keep watching. Hit the subscribe button before we start, and let's just jump into it. I weirdly feel like I'm digging the way I'm looking right now. And normally I hate when I can see all this red blotchy texture on my face, but like I feel kind of cute. Like my hair is kind of this messy, cute style, which is totally me. But anyways, let's just jump right in. Let's start with the skin. I think we're going to start with the skin today because the eye look is the main focus, but it's not a heavy look, and I just want to get the eye all done at one time. So I think if we do all our skin first and then come back and do the eye second, that makes the most sense, I feel like. I don't know. Let's just go ahead. I'm like, what did I do with my beauty sponge? I leave it in the bathroom, but no, she's here. So I'm just going to start with my foundation. I'm using the Revlon Color Stay in the shade 110. I have been using Revlon Color Stay for years now. It's one of my absolute faves. It just has such a pretty look, and they have, I feel like, I am a white girl, but I feel like they have a good selection of shade range. What is that what I'm trying to say? They have a good shade range selection, I feel like. And I don't know, I use the combination to oily, and I just feel like it suits my skin really well because I am the definition of combination skin. I am really oily on my nose, and then the outer portions of my face are really dry. So like I feel like I'm the poster child for combination skin. On top of having dry skin, it's like very textured. And I'm just using a ColourPop beauty sponge. This one came with the Pretty Fresh makeup line. And I'm just gonna buff my foundation all over my skin. For concealer today, I just remembered I have a new concealer I wanted to try out. So I was thinking about using my the ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer, but I changed my mind. I bought the Benefit Boing concealer, cakeless concealer, because I'm going to be doing a full face of new makeup from Ulta. It should be going up at the end of this week, and I bought this concealer first before I decided what foundation I wanted to use, and then when I decided what foundation I wanted to use, I ended up changing my mind and went with a concealer that went with the foundation. So I have this concealer, and I could take it back, but I'm like, I have it, let's try it. I can always use, you know, more variations of stuff for my channel. So like I said, this is the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer, and I have seen these all over social media and stuff, and but I haven't really watched any reviews on them. I love the packaging. It looks like a pencil, you know, like the eraser on the back of a pencil. And I got this in the shade number 1 because I am pretty white. I always like a really white, light, brightening concealer. But okay, let's go ahead and try this out. So it just has a standard little skinny doe foot, not as near as big as the Shape Tape doe foot. Looks like it's pretty darn bright. I do feel like the doe foot, it's got a hair on it. Probably came off of me, but has a hair. Is very flexy. Like, it's not as stiff as most of them, I feel like. Like, it's kind of bouncy. I don't know. Is that a weird thing to say? And I feel like I'm having to dip in a lot more, like with your Shape Tape, especially when it's brand new. Like, you could dip in once and that will coat your entire face. Like, a little goes a long way. And with this, I feel like I dipped in once for this side, dipped in again for this side, and I feel like you can, I don't know, like the product doesn't disperse as well. I don't know. Or it's just a thinner product. Obviously, I'm not comparing it to Shape Tape necessarily, but that is my favorite concealer. So let's go ahead and blend it out, see how that looks. Okay, so the first thing I noticed about this blending it out is it dries really fast. Like, I buffed it out and it seemed like instantly that was dry. So if you wait too long, I feel like you may have a hard time moving the product around or buffing any edges out. You might get some streaks or some lines. But other than that, it does seem pretty brightening. I feel like it did a good job of covering my dark circles, but it is definitely creasing in the creases under my eyes. I don't know how well you can see that. It's definitely creasing. I'm gonna go ahead and bake and see how it works setting it, if it gets cakey or not. It says no cake, but you know, we all sometimes say things that isn't true. I'm gonna use my Cody translucent airspun powder because this is my favorite. Okay, so I tried to buff out those lines before I baked, but like I said, that product seemed to dry really fast. So even though it's baking, I feel like that concealer was already set into those creases and dried, and now like those creases are just gonna be there for the day. And I don't love that. I don't love when I do my makeup and I already, while I'm doing it, have creases or whatever. Like, I feel like that should come later in the day, right? But we're gonna let it bake and just kind of see how that goes. Although I didn't leave a heavy baking, and part of me feels like I want to do that, but yeah, let's do it because I don't know, because I'm crazy. I just want to see, test. Oh, I got that in my eye. Okay. Test it out and see if by doing a heavy excess amount of baking will make a difference, whether it's cakey or not. I'm just gonna keep testing it out. So I always like my baking to be able to see that I've got something sitting on there. I don't want it to all instantly get absorbed into the skin, if you know what I mean. Sorry, I got setting powder, or baking powder, whatever powder, in my eye. My eyes is a little bit dry and scratchy feeling now, but that's alright. Let's not mess with it before my eye turns red. So let's, I think what I want to do next is toss on my brows. So I'm going to do that and I will be right back. Brows are back on. So I did use that concealer again to conceal my brows, and I feel like it did a pretty good job. I have a lot of crazy hairs right now because I need to get my brows done, and it seemed to cover them pretty well. I mean, only so much you can do with dark brow hairs, but yeah, I feel like it did okay. So let's go ahead and sweep away the baking and set our face, and I'm going to use the same powder, the same Cody translucent airspun powder, blah blah blah, that I use like every day, that I used to bake with and whatnot. So I'm just going to go ahead and set my face real fast. let's go ahead and bronze up. Now I'm going to be using my favorite bronzer, my Hoola bronzer from Benefit. And I'm just going to put some color back into those cheeks. But I still feel like my eyes just have really heavy creasing under them. And I noticed when I was setting my skin, I went to set my lids with the powder as well. And to buff out those crease lines, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I get these lines of usually concealer and foundation on my lids before I set them. And I got those lines, I don't know if you can see very well, like that cakiness that just kind of builds up in the corner. And it was so dry I could not move it around. So I mean, I feel like to me that's a negative thing for your product to dry so fast. You know, if it didn't dry so fast, you can move it around. And I mean, having it dry and set down in place is a good thing, but I feel like there's a fine line between it setting too fast and it setting, you know, good enough to just not move anymore. And this, I feel like, if you're a fast-paced worker, you know, you do your makeup pretty fast-paced, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And probably if I wasn't sitting here chit-chatting, you know, talking while I'm doing it, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. But if you like to talk and do things and whatever, you know, watch shows and pause and, you know, you're slower when you're doing your makeup, I don't know that you would love this product. I mean, it's definitely brightening, but like I said, I still have creases under my eyes, and I have like this cakey stuff in the creases of my eyelids because I did not buff it out and set it soon enough. So take what you want from that. Let's go ahead and highlight. I did pick up this highlight. I used it actually the other day, but this will be my second use of it. This is the Revolution Skin Kiss highlight. So it's the Makeup Revolutions in the shade Champagne Kiss. It's very pretty. I do feel like it's not an extreme highlight, and I feel like it's a little chalky when you're, you know, trying to pick up the product. I feel like a lot comes off. I mean, look how coated that is. But then I don't feel like you really get a whole lot of shimmer from it. Like, I just feel like, and it's very natural, it's very pretty, but if you know me, if you watch my channel, I like a pretty pop and highlight. So to go with something real natural is not my favorite. It does kind of have a pinky hue to it, which I like. Oh, I didn't like how that turned all yellow there. I like the pink hue just because I am a very fair kind of, I don't know, peachy girl here. But I, like I said, used this one time the other day, and I feel like if you get a good coat, you just keep working with it, you can get enough to get you what you need. I mean, that's pretty, right? Okay, I just realized I forgot to highlight or contour my nose. I feel like I do that a lot when I'm filming. Like when I'm doing my makeup day to day, I don't forget things. I don't miss, you know, a step. And I feel like when I'm filming, I don't know if it's because I'm talking or it's just that I don't know, I'm distracted, I guess, a little bit. I kind of forget steps. And I feel like the nose contour is one that I forget a lot. And highlighting my inner corner, which is like a big thing to me on a normal day. So when I forget it and when I'm filming, I'm like, what were you doing? Who are you? Like, what's going on? So, I just used the same bronzer, by the way. For blush, I'm going to be using, this is a Real Her Be Fearless, Be Limitless blush kit. And I always like the shade called Unstoppable. It's kind of more of a purpley, mauve-y blush shade. So I'm going to go ahead and I feel like this will pair really pretty with that highlight. I just put a lot on my nose. So I'm going to take my setting powder brush and kind of sweep some of that away because, like, girl, you have it. You went in heavy with that. So I pretty much think we're to the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and take my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist and just give my skin a good spritz down before I move into the eyes. So this eye look, I'm going to be going pretty simple with the shadow because, like I said in the intro, I'm going to be doing one of the Rhinestone makeup looks. And I'm not getting crazy with the rhinestones. I was kind of looking for pictures and videos and stuff, and people would like have these little tiny rhinestones all over. And when I went to the store, they wanted like $5 for a pack of rhinestones. And I was like, I do not want to spend $5 on rhinestones for one video. So I went to the clearance section, and these were the only ones in the color I liked. In the clearance section, I still had to pay like $2.50 for these. But they don't have any small ones. These are all fairly big, so I'm not going to go crazy with them because these are so large. If I had smaller rhinestones, I would probably get a little more creative with them, and maybe I will in the future, maybe when I find some that are on sale. But let's get into the eyeshadow. So I'm going to be using pretty much just two things for my eyes aside from the rhinestones. This is the ColourPop My Little Pony Shadow Palette, and I'm going to be using the shade, I never know on these palettes how the names on the back correlate to it. So like if I look at this one, is the one directly behind it that one, which would make sense, but also when I look at this, I flip it over. Okay, I'm looking at the one, you know, on the first top left hand side, flip it over, well the one on the top left hand side is called Butterscotch. So I'm like, is it Bluebell, is it Butterscotch? But I'm going to be using this purple shade in the middle, which is either called Sky Dancer or Minty. So I don't know, you guys can decide on that one. And I'm going to be also using a Cover FX Shimmer Veil in the shade Amethyst, which is just a really pretty shimmery. And I do feel like I have used this on my channel like back in the beginning when I first started. Cleaning out my brush, guys, I have been using this thing a ton. I absolutely love it. I got this in my Winter 2019 FabFitFun, which if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down in the description box. But it was a really good box. I really liked what I got in there, which I mean, I love every box, but some boxes are just like on point with every item, and that box for sure was. I mean, I use this thing almost every day. Like, it's amazing. First, I'm going to be actually going in with the pinky shade next to it, which is either Minty or Sky Dancer. I don't know, you can decide. It's a little more of kind of a rosy pink shade, and I'm not going to go in real heavy-handed with that. I'm just going to kind of use that as our crease shade, kind of give us a little base to work on. Next, I'm going to go into the purple shade next to it. And we're going to coat this pretty much over top of what we just laid down, and then down onto the lid. We're not going to be stingy with this shade. It's got some shimmer to it. It's very pretty, but I'm just going to work it all the way down from the outer corner into the crease, the inner corner there, and then down towards the lash line. So basically, you're just going to be coating the whole lid with this shade. Okay, we're going to set that palette aside, and now I'm going to grab that Cover FX Shimmer Veil, and if you haven't used these before, they just kind of look like a lip gloss or concealer. You know, they've got just the nice doe foot. And then the product, I'm going to work that product on the lid, kind of making a faux cut crease, if you will. And I'm going to work it a little over halfway in the eye. Actually, probably about 2/3 of the way across the eye there. And if you need to do multiple coats, I'm going to. It just will give it more pigmentation. I'm just going to let that kind of dry down for a second. Now I'm going to go in with that highlight again, which was called Champagne Kiss, I believe, yes. And I'm going to pop that shade into my inner corner. This is going to be our inner corner highlight. I'm going to brighten things up there a little bit. Like, that's pretty. Then I'm going to take that brush that we used to apply the purple shade, and I'm not going to dip into it anymore, but I'm just going to go and kind of work that under the lash line a bit. I lied. I'm going to dip into it a little more. There wasn't as much product left on the brush as I had hoped. So I'm just going to go in back into that purple shade and just work that under the lash line. Just kind of a soft smoke, nothing heavy, nothing too dark. Weird. On camera, I feel like my eye looks a lot pinker than it does in person. It looks more true purple in person than it does in the camera. So like I said, nothing real heavy. Just a nice, pretty kind of soft smoke underneath. Just add a little something, something. I want to add just a little more bling to the inner corner. This is the Stila Glitter and Glow glitter eyeshadow in the shade Diamond Dust. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of that around the inner corner. Now it's time to put the gems on. So what I think I'm going to do is find my lash glue here. Okay, I found my lash glue. I'm just going to take a brush. This is a brush I don't use very often, so if the lash glue like totally destroys it, you know, I'll be alright. So I'm just going to take this tiny little brush, and I'm going to take my lash glue, which I use the Duo White Clear Lash Glue, and I'm just going to be honest, I'm just going to use the box that the concealer came in. And do like just like a drop of glue onto the box. Then I'm going to kind of dip my little brush in there, and I'm going to put a dab right on the inner corner. This is just going to help glue those rhinestones down. Then I'm going to take a rhinestone and drop it on my shirt first, and then put the brush down. Lay that bad boy down on the inner corner. So there's one. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side really fast. Okay, so I got both of them on. I think now I want to do one kind of like out below the brow, kind of balance it out a little bit. So again, just take my brush, put a little bit of glue on it, and then kind of make a tacky spot. I have dropped so many of these dang things on the ground. If I had some smaller ones, I would probably do some under the brow and maybe a few under the eye, but I don't, so I think I'm just going to leave them here for now. Let's do some liner. I'm going to take my NYX Epic Ink Liner and just draw a nice wing. So I'm going to start on the inner corner right next to that gemstone and bring it out, and then I'm going to keep the wing I'm going to connect the outer wing to that outer gem. It's going to be my goal. Okay, so that didn't turn out too bad. They are a little lower, the wings are a little lower than I would typically do, but like it's kind of cool. Like I don't know, what do you guys think? Let's go ahead and throw some mascara and some lashes on. I don't even know what I'm going to be using for lashes today. I'm going to use my Baddington lashes. These are the Monroe 3D Silk Lashes. They're just very thick, pretty. Just going to go ahead and throw a little mascara on. I'm going to be using the Benefit Roller Lash. And then I'll throw my lashes on and I'll be right back. Okay, so my lashes are on. Obviously, I still have some glue drying on them, but I really love this eye look, actually. I mean, I'm not huge into the gems and kind of Coachella-y feel with the, you know, eye looks and stuff, but I actually kind of like it. It's kind of pretty. So, for lips, I was going back and forth between doing just a nude lip or doing something fun and bright and vibrant. And I decided to do something vibrant. This is a Stila liquid lip in the shade Paradiso, and I actually have never worn this shade. I've had it a little while, and so I thought, you know what, let's wear it. It's bright, purpley, fun lip. So I'm just gonna go ahead and toss this on. I forgot how much I love the Stila liquid lipstick formula. They just go on so smooth and creamy, and then they dry down to a really pretty matte. I hate that everything on camera is picking up so much more warm tone, but I mean, this is a pretty cool toned lip color. I mean, you can see in the bottle it's a lot more cool tone that looks on the lips. But in person, it doesn't have as much warmth to it. The same with the eye look. The eye look has a lot cooler look to it. Yeah, it's definitely not translating quite the same, but it still looks pretty even on camera. But I'm going to let that kind of set down on my lips for a moment. And realize that I need to, like, even out my Cupid's bow there. That's better. Now I'm going to take that Cover FX Shimmer Veil again, and I'm going to lay just a little bit of that in the center of my bottom lip. When I say just a little bit of, I mean the half the bottle. And then I'm just going to blot my lips together. Ooh, pretty spaceshipy kind of. This look kind of makes me feel a little outer spacey. But, okay. I'm going to go ahead now that I have done all my face and just set everything again with the same setting spray. Just lock everything down one more time. Alright guys, we've made it to the end. This is our final look. I hope you guys like this video. It was actually a pretty fun look to do. Let me know what you guys think about this look down in the description box. If you guys have any questions, you can also, you know, send those down there. I really like this look. Like I said, had a lot of fun doing it. It's kind of frustrating that it's translating more warm toned on camera than it looks in person, but either way I still think it's really pretty, and it's does kind of have a spaceshipy kind of outer space galaxy vibe to it. I like it. It's fun. This would be like a fun Coachella kind of makeup look, especially if you added a few more rhinestones. And maybe I will do another look if I can get my hands on some smaller ones. I will do another fun look like this. If you like it, please comment down below, hit the like button. Also, if you want to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Those links are also down in the description box. So thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.